Greetings survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with your latest luxury gift set of Rust development news, where today I have all the current deets on the new tunnel system and work cart. But first, please like and subscribe because it helps me a lot and it means I get to keep you up to date with all this stuff every week. Before we journey into the depths, however, a certain piece of news takes priority because one or two of you have expressed a desire to know the answer to that eternal question: when console? Well, earlier this week, many people who'd previously signed up to the Double 11 mailing list, Double 11 being the company taking care of the console version, received an email regarding sign-ups for a limited beta which will be taking place soon in North America and Europe. This is all about stress testing the console version, and more players will be added as time goes on. There's no date yet for it to start, but those who get chosen will be contacted later. Also, it's not too late to put yourself on the mailing list either, and I'll stick all the links you need in the description. Just make sure that if you do get an email that it has actually come from double11.com, not that anyone would try to trick you on the trusted platform that is the internet. Right, this week saw the work cart and tunnel system finally emerge, albeit on a separate work cart beta branch on staging, and later today hopefully it will be merged into the main staging branch for all to test and break on any decent sized staging server. But it's also on track to be released on the main game with the forced wipe on March the 4th. So this is how it works. As well as the usual roads, trails and cave systems, Rust will now have a separate underground train tunnel network far below the surface, linking all of the major monuments and perhaps some of the not so major ones. But lest you think travelling around via this will be a piece of cake, listen on. You'll now find Lian Li buildings stationed at various points around the map, which will grant you entry to the great underground empire. You can either take the stairs, which may give you flashbacks to the Shinra building, or use the central lift shaft, which is a damn sight quicker. A small, stealthy note on the stairwells is that there are a couple of dark corners to lurk in, an extremely sneaky cubby hole under the stairs at the very bottom, and a vent shaft at the top that will allow you to take the tradesman's entrance if you need to. At the bottom of this first shaft is a section of pedestrian tunnels, but be warned, you're certainly not the only pedestrian here. From here on, you'll bump into these chaps called tunnel dwellers, whatever their story is, and yes, there's that jumpsuit I showed you last week, as well as gas masks, which incidentally can both be spawned by admins from the attire menu, but I believe these were specifically made for these chaps and there are no plans to sell them as special items on the store like the spacesuit was. Sorry about that. You'll then find another smaller lift shaft and finally emerge into the train tunnels, where you'll be able to move around the entire island in relative peace. You'll also find loot in many places down here, and you'll be relieved to know there's no radiation. Whilst underground, pressing the map key will bring up a new version of the map showing the entire network and where each station is. You'll also be able to print this map out separately at some point with the console command world.render tunnels. Now, you could use your pins to get around. Nobody will mind, but the quickest, most stylish way is to find one of the new Zerg transportation systems, or work carts, which will spawn in various sidings down here. These have space for one driver who, whilst mounted, cannot wield weapons but will take 50% less damage from everything despite there being no glass, and a decent sized group of players on deck who get no additional protection but can run around and do whatever they want. The carts run on low grade, take up to 500 in the tank, and have 3 forward speeds and 3 reverse in case you miss your turning or someone falls off. They also have 1000 health, can be repaired with metal frags, but at the moment are only damaged by explosives or collisions. If exploded, the work cart will be destroyed and the driver killed. Boo-hoo. But if it gets damaged to 0 health by colliding with things, it will just become a non-functional husk and can be repaired from this state. Talking of which, there are some sections of track where you'll find more tunnel dwellers who will keep respawning, plus they've put up barricades on the tracks that you'll need to ram or push through at a cost to your vehicle. You can also ram other work carts and push idle ones in front of you, and when a collision is imminent, an alarm will sound in the cockpit. There are a lot of doors down here, but only a couple open. Everything is signposted clearly though, so you should be able to see easily which exits lead to which monuments. Of course, we have a week to go with testing and tweaking, and even after that, everything I've mentioned will be subject to change. But let me know what you think in the comments, please, whether you're railing against this change or you think it adds extra depth. Oh, and also, technically, you can bring a horse all the way down here if it doesn't get stuck on a doorway, although I'm sure the team will patch this out eventually, as it's way too much fun. In other news, on staging, slot machines are now at the bandit camp. You'll find 3 of them in the Wheel of Misfortune room. Also on staging, RF transmitters should no longer flag players as hostile. You can now stick small boxes under the mixing table. Radiation's been removed from roadside substations, and the outpost should no longer spawn in the snow on procedural maps. There were some server browser improvements. It should filter out empty servers now as default, apart from in history and favourites of course. For cinematics, there are now a few more poses in the list, such as sleeping, sitting, looting, etc., and a new admin convar, rottingflies.hide, which, well, you should be able to figure that one out for yourself. There's still a lot of work being done on AI, gestures, animal animations, and that submarine's starting to look very seaworthy now. But in sad news, Sliant is no more. The RF pager has now been fixed. We will now observe a 1-second sliance for Sliant.
Yes, but OR and XOR switches still say electrical instead of electrical.
You know what? I'm gonna elect you as president of spelling. Please let me know what you thought of this week's update news down below. Leave me a like and sub to the channel. Follow me over on Twitch for regular streams, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group to stay up to date with my content. Support me on Patreon and buy yourself some Subject to Change merch on my Teespring store. Links below. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. This video is powered by AWDIT's producer range of workstation PCs, available now at awdit.co.uk. You know what? I'm gonna elect you as president of spelling.